Hey, you're tuned into Grady Hooker and Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM 89.0. We're going to start things off a little different this time. There's actually nothing that happened this day in history, so I'm going to start off with the birthdays. Turning 41 is Vladimir Kozlov. He was in the WWE from 2008 to 2011. Current WWE superstar Alex Riley, who participated in the second season of NXT, is turning 32. Daivari, who's an ex-WWE and ex-TNA wrestler, currently wrestling in the Independents, turns 29. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, current WWE wrestler who lost the WWE title to John Cena at WrestleMania, turns 41. Big Boss Man passed away in 2004, and he was a 4-time WWF Hardcore Champion. Kalen Croft is an ex-WWE wrestler, best known in the Dude Busters with Trent Beretta, and he's turning 33. Oksana is a current WWE diva, and we see her today on this week on SmackDown and Raw. She turns 30. And Titus O'Neil, one half of the Primetime Players, turns 35. So now I'm going to shoot straight on into our classic entrance theme for the week, DDP's Self High Five. So that was DDP's theme song, Self High Five. I'm here in studio now with Phid.
How you going?
And we're going to discuss what happened on Raw. Raw opened up with a segment between Triple H and Paul Heyman.
Yeah, Triple H pulling the old Swifty.
Yeah, but not before accepting the challenge that Brock and Heyman laid down.
Yeah, what is it, Heyman, oh not Heyman, Brock, Triple H 3.
Yeah, in a steel cage this time.
Yeah, and it seems to be this is Triple H's thing at the moment, is he's loving the gimmick matches, isn't he? I mean, not the gimmick, what's the best word for it?
Special.
Yeah, the special matches, yeah.
Yeah, the ones with conditions. And
yeah. And it seems he doesn't come back unless he's got special conditions on a match now.
True. He's always coming back for the Hell in the Cells.
Yeah.
Hell in the Leaves, No Holds Barred.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think this could build to be quite a good match.
Okay.
It's the rubber match, of course. You know, we've had Triple H win. We've had Lesnar win.
Yep.
You know, best of 3. It's an old school format for wrestling.
Yeah.
I've heard people saying, you know, this match doesn't need to happen. We're over it. But I don't think there's anything wrong with closing off a series of matches.
Who do you think's going to win it?
I don't know, actually. This is what I like about it.
True.
I don't actually know where it's going to go. I think Lesnar needs the win.
Yeah.
More than Triple H does. So, we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could be, you know, a really good crippling match.
But it could go the other way and be a boring slugfest.
Oh, it could be as well.
It all depends on how much effort the two in the ring put in.
Yeah, I think it could be a good match from Triple H. I mean, he doesn't have to stick around all year.
No.
The same with Lesnar. He doesn't have to stick around all year.
True.
So the guys don't have to worry about turning up next week on Raw to fight again. So they can put it all out there, and we don't have to see them again for another 3 months.
Fair enough.
So it could be a good match.
Yeah. Okay, well, the first match on Raw was R-Truth taking on Antonio Cesaro.
The biggest thing I noticed about this match, did you notice? R-Truth back with the rapping.
Yep. On the notes.
Yeah, it's on the notes.
R-Truth's back to rapping.
Yep, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Hopefully he's stopped seeing Invisible Boys, and he's back to doing what... I mean, I personally loved the rapping back in the... 2 years ago when he was doing it.
Yeah.
They got a good crowd reaction. People love singing along.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's good to see it back.
Yeah, I liked the rapping, but I like Little Jimmy as well.
You like Little Jimmy?
But he was just funny point.
Yeah.
More than...
I like Little Jimmy right at the start when it was more that he was starting to go crazy.
Yeah.
But when it really started to become an important part of him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that... And this is something CM Punk alluded to, the fact that an Invisible Boy was getting more screen time than other wrestlers.
Yeah. What do you think of the Shield's arrival at Raw via helicopter?
over the top for a episode of Raw. It was a massive entrance for an episode of Raw for some new guys, but it was cool.
Well, they
It's-
were
it's
going
sort-
up against the Brothers of Destruction and Daniel Bryan.
Exactly. I thought it was cool because it sort of gave you the impression that these guys aren't a part of WWE. They
Yeah.
travel on their own. They turn up on their own. Yeah,
Fair enough.
I liked it.
Okay. Brodus Clay with the Funkadactyls and Tensai taking on Sandow with Cody.
I'm liking the fact that we're starting to see some really good, solid tag team action again.
Yeah.
And Tons of Funk are actually a really good tag team.
Yeah, they've got the chemistry together.
They have. They're two guys that I think on their own were really starting. We would have seen them on the future endeavours list, I think, by the end of the year if they hadn't have jammed these two together.
Fair call.
But the two of them, yeah, they've really pulled it together. I'm glad that Tensai's dropped this Japanese thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not stupid. We all remember A-Train.
Yep.
We all know he's not Japanese. It didn't work him trying to fool us that he was this Japanese warlord or whatever he was supposed to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, jamming them together with thing, it's working. And I love the fact, okay, I've said I hate the dancing gimmicks.
Yeah.
I love the fact that Tensai can't dance and is trying to do it. You know, it works.
Does.
Sometimes the things that don't work are the things that work best, you know.
Yeah. Okay. After
And
that,
it was a good solid match.
Fair enough. After that, Ziggler and AJ are talking backstage, and then they get into one of their kissing things.
Yeah, Big E.
Yeah.
What's
walking
happening?
out.
What's happening is the big monster going to go out on his own.
I don't think he's liking the fact that Ziggler's getting all the attention.
Yep. And my biggest gripe when it comes to Big E, why are we ignoring the fact that he's got a belt?
True. Well, the NXT title is notorious for being put on the guy who then runs off to
And-
Raw with it.
Yeah.
It went on Seth. Seth debuted. It went on Big E. Big E debuted.
Yep.
It's a title that's not really meant to be seen the light of day, unless
Outside of NXT.
you're watching NXT.
Yeah. I don't like the fact that they're ignoring NXT.
No.
There is no harm, I believe, at acknowledging the fact that you have this smaller group of people that you own as well. No, it's one of your titles. You don't even have to allude to it being a great title.
Yeah, but even if he brought it out before Ziggler got his title, you'd look at it and you'd go, Ziggler, AJ, and a champion.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good point. So you've got a champ there.
And he's not going to defend his NXT title on Raw.
I don't want to see
So
it
then-
defended on Raw.
But if he's bringing it out, they're going to want it defended. Otherwise, it's just like, hey, look, he's got a title. If you're not watching NXT...
See, it's exactly the same theory as why they wouldn't let Ryder bring out the Internet Championship.
Yeah,
And that was another one I would have loved to have seen on TV.
true. Except now he's thrown it to the ground and not spiking his hair.
Yeah, what's up with him? I'm hoping we start seeing new attitude from Ryder.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, he needs it. He's gone from being a dude who the WWE were trying to ignore and
Yep.
couldn't. He got so big that they couldn't ignore him.
Yep.
And they gave him all the screen time in the world. And it was awesome. But then out of nowhere was the choke slam from Death.
Yes.
Yeah, they got the big choke slam off the loading dock and his career was over, it seems to be.
I've seen some things that people are speculating that it's been a long-term sort of thing.
Yeah.
That this has been for those past few years after the choke slam. He's just been getting less and less, and he's getting more angrier and more angrier each time he's not being used. His YouTube show got cancelled.
Well, did you see the YouTube show came back for 30 seconds?
Yeah, for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And that's where he got even more mad.
Yeah, and this is what I'm liking is, are we going to see maybe him go, screw this, I'm tired of pandering to you guys,
Yeah.
I'm going to be a badass.
Fair enough.
It'll be good to see. I mean, we've actually, if you look back in time, we've seen him as a bad guy.
Yeah.
He was one of the edgeheads.
Yep. With Hawkins.
Yeah, with Hawkins. And so YouTube that. Have a look.
Yeah.
So I liked the look he had back then.
True.
And he's starting to grow the hair out again.
Before Tyler Rex left,
Yeah.
what him and Hawkins were doing, I'm wondering if they're trying to mould Ryder to fit in that same sort of slot with him, because we know they have chemistry as a tag team.
Yep.
And they could do the whole change.
Yeah.
I'm sick of not being used the way I should be.
Yep.
Type role.
It's almost going to be like CM Punk light. I know I've mentioned CM Punk all the time, but it's the same sort of thing they did with him to get him back up there as, okay, I'm just over it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
That was a big talk about just a segment.
Yeah. Chris Jericho taking on Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, these guys fight well. I've said it before.
Yeah.
I like these guys in the ring together. They've got amazing chemistry. And you can almost tell Jericho enjoys fighting with Ziggler.
Yeah.
You get this impression that he likes the time he gets in the ring with Ziggler. And I think, yeah, a good match, a good solid match. I don't think it added anything to any story or anything like that.
Well, you had the finish where Fandango's music caused Jericho to lose.
Yeah. But I mean, the point of putting those two together in a match made no other sense.
No. Other than the fact that, like, last year they were...
And there's nothing, I don't think there's anything wrong with just having a good solid match. You don't always have to have a hard and fast storyline.
Yep. Okay.
And I believe this might be the last time we see Jericho for a while, I've heard.
Okay.
Yeah, just
Got to go back on.
just little rumours I've heard.
Four.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the next match, Tensai, the opposite of the earlier match. Tensai taking on Cody this time. Same as the last one.
Same as the last one. It was, look, at the end of the day, we're saying a tag team match split in half.
Yeah, the other guy winning.
Yep. It was a good match.
Yep.
Didn't add anything. Wasn't an important match.
No.
Although I will say, even though I do enjoy seeing these guys fighting each other, it's time to bring in some more tag teams.
Fair enough. On that note, we'll go to our current theme song of the week. It's Brodus Clay's Somebody Call My Mama.
Yeah, let's dance.
That was Brodus Clay's theme song, Somebody Call My Mama. So when we left off on Raw, Team Hell No were just having a bit of a tiff backstage.
Yeah. So what was all this about?
This was The Undertaker hasn't shown up yet, and Daniel Bryan has some diagrams, and Kane's trying to tell Daniel Bryan that the Brothers of Destruction are a better tag team than Team Hell No.
Yeah.
Bit of a shake-up before the Shield pretty much just come in and take out Team Hell No.
The only thing I had of this is the week beforehand when they announced this match was going to happen. I was like, for the first time ever, I want something really horrible to happen to Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
You know, I want something to happen to him because I would have loved to have seen just the Brothers of Destruction back together. No one else.
Yep.
It would have been cool to see it. But
Fair enough.
yeah. And I thought we were going to get it.
Yeah.
When they said Bryan had been injured and blah, 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 you know, he got attacked.
Yeah, but they came back?
Yeah, for the final match they ended up, yeah.
Okay, well, Biggie Langston and Zack Ryder had a short match.
Yep, Ryder just got knocked the hell out, and
Biggie again showing signs of his disdain.
Well, his own entrance music.
Yep, and no AJ or Ziggler by his side.
Yeah.
Probably so he can't swing his arm out and smack AJ in the neck again.
Yeah, well, it'd be interesting to see what happens with this. It'll be good to see Langston on his own, I think.
Yeah.
It's a shame having such a big powerhouse being used as, you know,
A bodyguard.
just a bodyguard.
Valet.
Yeah.
Okay, well, then we got the biggest match of the night.
It was a cool match.
Yep.
It was a good match. And I think it's always good. It's always awesome seeing a big guy like The Undertaker return on TV.
Yep. It was a great match to watch, but as most of the old school fans probably saw it, it was more of a Brothers of Destruction with Daniel Bryan on the side He was the lettuce that nobody wants.
Yeah, no, but Daniel had a really good match as well. He did have a solid match in there.
But he was the one that lost the match.
He was the one who lost the match, yeah. But he did have a good solid match. He got a lot more time than I thought the brothers were going to let him have in there.
True.
Yeah.
The Shield just being, again, put on this pedestal.
Dominant.
Still undefeated as a team.
Yep. As a team,
'Cause
undefeated.
on SmackDown, Dean lost to The Undertaker by submission.
Yeah, but he's still in. They still ended up squashing Taker. We'll
Triple
get to
powerbomb.
It was it the Shield? I love the Shield.
Yep.
I think they're amazing.
Okay.
Believe in the Shield.
Yep. So now to pander to the London crowd, we got Fandango taking on William Regal.
Yeah, it was a match.
Fair enough. London crowd still not as loud as the New Jersey crowd.
That was surprising because I was actually looking forward to this. London are always a notoriously loud crowd.
Yeah.
And I have heard that they believe it may have been Londoners who started New Jersey off.
Yeah.
I have heard a rumour that they reckon it was guys from England who are over for WrestleMania who had actually started the cheering
Oh, okay.
at Jersey. So
Either
yeah,
way.
well, it was a bit of a letdown of a crowd, but yeah.
But at the end of the match, Jericho threw Fandango off the ramp and danced with his new valet, Summer Rae.
Yep. I can't wait to see her in the ring again.
Yeah, it's good that he has a dancer that can actually wrestle now.
Yeah.
Because every time the chick would dance out, the chick would just leave.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, that's
Yeah.
not a very good valet.
It was, if they hadn't have really alluded to it, I don't think many people would have noticed that they changed dancers either.
Well, it was from a brunette to a blonde. That was the biggest.
But no, I don't think people really pay that much attention.
True. Yeah.
But like I said, it'll be, it's good having a wrestler there because we need more divas that can wrestle.
Paige.
Yeah. No, you're right, yeah.
Yeah. I've been saying for ages to bring Paige.
Yeah, she should be on the main card already.
I think it's her age that's stopping her at the moment.
Yeah.
She's 19.
And they reckon Flair's daughter's actually really good.
Yeah, I've heard that as well.
I haven't seen her in the ring myself. I'm not a big watcher of NXT. I sort of just look at it every now and then.
Yeah.
But I have heard great things about Flair's daughter, so
We'll wait and see.
see if the lineage actually will do her any favours.
Speaking of divas, the Divas Battle Royal to be the number one contender for Caitlin's title.
It was your typical Divas match.
Yep.
Not very long.
You saw
Not very
Naomi,
exciting.
saw Naomi though,
Hmm.
one of the more athletic divas.
I think just looking at the way the Divas are usually run, next year will be her year.
Yeah.
But the end of this match, I actually did like the end of this match. It didn't grab my attention until the end of the match. You had AJ knocked out right at the start.
Within the first
Yeah.
30 seconds.
Yeah. And she just lay there, knocked out for the entire match. And then right at the end, she pulls the Swiftie, out goes Layla,
Yep.
who looked fabulous, I might add.
Again, pandering to the London crowd.
Yeah. Well, apparently it's the first time she's had a decent time in London in X amount of years or something.
Okay.
She's gone over and done shows over there, but apparently she's only been in and out of London.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was tweeting about it's the first time in 3 or 4 years or something she's actually spent a weekend with her family.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I digress.
It was a weird way that they were like, the Bella Twins are DQ'd because of
Yeah.
what they did. We all know they were just busy doing photo shoots and promo material.
Yeah, they were off promoting their new show on E.
Yeah. It's no use trying to lie to us.
Yeah.
But
I think this is going to be cool. It could end up being a really cool grouping of having AJ. AJ's back in the ring. Thank God.
Yeah.
I love AJ, and I think she is a really undervalued wrestler.
yep.
So it's cool having AJ back in the ring, but having AJ versus Caitlyn could end up being some really cool matches.
If AJ picks up the title off Caitlyn, will we see the World Heavyweight, the Divas, and the NXT champion still together?
All in the same troop. Let's see.
Never know. And then the final segment with Mick Foley, John Cena, and Ryback.
Yeah, Foley has been a letdown since he's come back, I think.
Yeah.
He hasn't had the same sort of energy with his promos as he has had in the past, up until he called out CM Punk a while back.
Yeah.
And he had a go at him. That was probably, okay, you're back. You're finally back. You've been here for 2 years. You've been back for 2 years, but you're actually back now. And this week was another example of that where he was pretty solid in there.
You gave him a cheer.
Yep.
That was the sort of, I think...
What I did like is actually seeing Ryback with a mic as well.
Yeah.
He is good on the microphone.
You just got to give it to him.
Yeah, you just got to give it to him. And he proved it. You know he's going to learn a lot more than just how to wrestle.
Yeah. Okay, well, that was the end of Raw. We'll chop on to SmackDown.
And to be honest, I think you could probably just flash over a lot of these matches.
Yeah, the no DQ match between Swagger and Del Rio. It's not too different from the matches we've seen multiple times between these guys.
And saying that, though, who else are you going to pair Jack Swagger with?
True.
I mean, we haven't got a lot of vocal immigrants on the roster.
But it being a London crowd, you could have put him with someone like Regal.
You could have.
Matt really would have made the crowd hate him and get in on that
That's
match.
a good point. That's a really good point. I hadn't put much thought into that. They could have actually made for a really interesting match.
Opportunity lost.
Yep.
And then you got Oksana and Layla. That was just so Layla please the London crowd.
Yeah, having Layla back in front of the Londoners.
I think it was the only
and once
Divas
again,
match.
Layla was looking fabulous.
Yeah. You can keep saying that.
Oh, well.
Fandango taking on Gabriel. Again, just a generic Fandango match.
Yep, Summer Rae was looking fabulous.
Leg drop. Fandango wins.
Yep.
Then...
it's good seeing Fandango, in a match with somebody else.
Yeah. Then we did the switchy swap. Sheamus took on Big Show and Orton took on Henry.
Yep.
I think Henry interfered, cost Sheamus the match. Sheamus interfered, cost Henry the match.
Yep.
Well, technically Henry won, but by DQ. So.
Yeah.
But and then to please the London crowd again, you got the two.
The two Londoners.
Well, not London, but
two
Englanders.
Yeah, Englanders. The two Brits.
Yeah. Regal taking his second loss of the week.
Yep. It's a shame.
Yeah.
You'd think they would have put him in a match where he's going to come out on top.
You'd think.
Because the Londoners love him.
Yeah. But they'd love him whether he won or lost.
Exactly.
So, then the main event, The Undertaker taking on Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, cool seeing Ambrose in a match on his own.
Yeah, I said a couple of weeks back that I wanted to see the Shield in some singles.
Yeah.
And they've delivered.
We are getting it.
But it was a good match.
It was a really good match, and I'm sorry, Taker, as much as I love you, I love the ending of this match.
The triple powerbomb through the announce table.
Yep.
I honestly thought he might be broken.
Yep. Well, we'll see next week.
Did the table break? The table broke.
Oh, no, so obviously they build more appropriate tables in London. Good finish.
Well, it's been great having you here, Phid.
Awesome, thanks for having me on.
This week was actually a very sad week in wrestling for New Zealand. The last episode of TNA aired on the box this week, and IPW had their last ever pay-per-view for a decade of Impact. I'll run you down what happened. The 2-on-1 handicap match, Dave O'Connor took on the Deal Dale Knox and Dion McCracken. A couple of guys came back for this match, Daddy Cool, Megan Kate, Jordan Invincible and Superstar Troy Daniels, and they helped Dave O'Connor defeat his opponents. Next up was the No Rules, No Mercy match. Elias somehow pulled it out of the bag and defeated Liger. New Japan Pro Wrestling's King Fale defeated TJ Rocket. James Shaw, after what happened at the IPW Tag Team Championship match, he managed to defeat his former partner Joey Kincaid. The three main events of the night were for the three titles to see who would be the last ever champions in IPW. The IPW Tag Team Champions TNT had a very hard Ask, they had to defeat 5 other teams. They had to take on the Professional Standard, A-Class Aaron Henry and Pat Shisk, the Style Cartel, Mucha Lucha, and Pirate Burns and Joel Clementson. Somehow TNT managed to come out on top and win that match. Evie defended her New Zealand Women's Championship against Olivia Shaw and also managed to come out on the top, meaning she is the only Impact Pro Wrestling New Zealand Women's Champion in history. The main event of the night was actually the New Zealand Heavyweight Championship, where Kingy was defending against Liam Fury and Travis Banks. Travis Banks ended up making Kingy tap out to the crossface submission, and he became the final IPW Heavyweight Champion of all time. These guys are doing a couple of encore performances, though, at the Hamilton and Wellington Armageddons, coming up in May, I think. Have a look and see if you can make it to one of those shows. I've been Grady Hooker on Wrestling Roundup for FreeFM 89.0. Please go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Wrestling Roundup Radio, or just look for Wrestling Roundup FreeFM. See you next week.